Being here, everybody getting ready for the country music festival coming up this weekend. A lot going on around Horry County. Tonight we'll have our invocation is by Mr. Hardy, and our pledge of allegiance by Mr. Howard. Input is 11 to 30 minutes at the beginning of every one of our meetings. You do have to sign up in advance. You have to sign up by 3 o'clock on the day of the meeting. If we've allotted a 30-minute time for the number of people, then of course we'll put alternates in unless, in case someone doesn't show up for the particular meeting. If not, we can move you on to the next meeting. But if you were here for a rezoning matter or another matter that has public input, then we allow you to come up and have a 5-minute time limit to speak. We don't necessarily have a time limit allocated for the reading of ordinances for our public input, but it needs to be specific to that ordinance, not only all about other issues that you may have. So tonight we do have a pretty full agenda for public input. Folks that did call in advance, and we'll call up. First up is Rich Malzone, and he's going to talk about the team Horry concept. We got the light system up here. Obviously, green light means really done. Yellow light means 1 minute left. I'm wrapping up. The red light means time's up. Not long.
Thank you, Chairman. Council Chairman Lazarus and all council members, thanks for allowing me tonight to address some points that affect 200,000 plus of your constituents of Horry County. I'd also like to take a moment to remember all those that lost their lives over 70 years ago on the beaches of Normandy, to bless them and their families for their sacrifice so we can speak freely here today. We live in a complicated region. On one hand, we are, as Chairman Lazarus puts it, Team Horry, over 200,000 strong, and we should be working together. On the other hand, we have the cornerstone city of the region. Instead of working to make the region a team, it chooses to separate itself from the rest of us. It, in essence, has built a figurative wall between the city and 200,000 county residents. We also have a quasi-political entity called the Myrtle Beach Area Chamber of Commerce. Even though it's not elected, it gets millions of dollars of tax money to spend unaudited. This money, which comes from our pockets, needs to be publicly accounted for. We have the mayor of the cornerstone city of our region declaring on television that all of Horry County must be heard in support of opposition to drilling off our coast to protect the beaches. These are the same beaches he refuses to give equal access to Horry County residents that he wants to support him. Instead, he gives the residents of Golden Mile a private beach that we all pay for. We have the city's public information officer, Mark Correa, attempting to recruit businesses to the city by saying, we are not a city of 29,000, but a region of 200,000 or even 300,000. He left out the part that the mayor and city council calling 200,000 full-time residents tourists. These new businesses will generate additional taxes, much from our pockets, which will lower property taxes of the residents of Golden Mile, who don't want it on their private beach. We just finished a weekend that we were trapped in our neighborhood by a controversial bike loop. Your constituents could not even get back to our homes in the late afternoon because the police would not let us turn where we needed to turn. The bike loop's main purpose is to protect the neighborhood of Golden Mile at our neighborhood's expense. The politicians will say what they want, but it's clear that less than 4,000 residents of Golden Mile dictate their wants to 200,000 plus people, your constituents. Now, before the elections of 2017 and 2018, it is this council's job to represent 200,000 people and not let the 4,000 Golden Mile residents run amok over 200,000. 4 things must be done. This city council must use every bit of its financial leverage with the city to get equal access to the whole beach. You've made a great big step it home to $235,000. But there's more funding to stop. Does the county fund any of the beach ball classic? Does it fund the bike loop? What else does the county fund with our tax dollars? Second thing, this county council must assure its residents that Bike Loop 2017 is the last one we have to endure in our neighborhoods. We ask that you work with all agencies to make sure all future bike loops are confined to city limits. 3, this county council must demand an accounting of the monies spent by the Myrtle Beach Area Chamber of Commerce. 4, you must find a way to convince the city that without the support of the 200,000 county residents, or if they think of us full-time tourists, the city cannot survive, especially in November, December, January, and February. You must convince Mr. Rhodes to tear down that wall. Your constituents want all 4 of these action items done and see it. That is, if you feel like this job, we fail as a regional community. Thank you.